let's start with this market right now, because we are seeing, again, it's not, for once, it isn't just Pulse Chain bleeding out of every orifice. Looks like Bitcoin has been as well over the last day. Now, we have, you and I, Ewok, have been talking about this for quite some time. We were talking about Bitcoin maybe going back into the 30Ks at some point. It's been so bullish and produced, been so good over the last couple of weeks that I don't know that we'll get that low again, but at least this kind of move at the very least was expected. So we are finally down here at 58K. Pretty customary, maybe even not big enough of a dip yet in the Bitcoin halving sell-off. We have ETH now below 3K, not by much. It's at 2970 at the moment. But we are seeing things bleed a bit. It was nice over the weekend. We saw ETH gaining back its ratio on BTC ever so much, which is what we really need for an altcoin season to run, and that's what we're really hoping for. But now it's kind of back where it's been, right at that 0.5, 0.49 number or something like that. So looking at Bitcoin anyway and this market overall, what do you make of this, Ewok? Because I know we've been kind of waiting for this dip here.
Yeah. So I think the average pullback was 38% after the halving. Something like that. So, I mean, we still got a little way to go if it holds true. Someone said that it was mirroring more the 2017 halving, whenever it happened last, than the one in 2021. So, if you measure this move down, we're only 10% down. So, I mean, if we hold true and go to that 38%, geez, I mean, you're looking 40 grand.
So, that's where we said,
So, I mean, it could, and there's some support levels in here, right here at this between, I guess it's 26 and, well, oh no, I'm sorry. That's wrong. That was the percentage. 38 and 40 is roughly where your next level of support would be if it goes through this 53,000. Because if it goes through this support that we're seeing right here back in February, where it kind of evened out a little bit, if it goes beyond that, it could really free fall. So yeah, I mean it's not looking good, but it's looking normal. When I say it's not looking good, it's just good for price. But for normalcy and cycle wise, it's doing kind of what it probably should do.
Well, I just measured. So if we consider the recent top at right about 74K, which is about where it was, that a 38% would take us to about 46K. So I think with how well Bitcoin has performed, I could see it not getting down into the 30s at this point. That would be not that that's way off from 46,000, but I mean, I think that'd be a tad drastic. But it also was a tad bullish going up. I mean, nobody really expected, no one. If anybody that's telling you like, oh yeah, I mean, I saw an all-time high in Bitcoin coming before the halving this year, nobody saw that. Nobody was calling for that. No. People would have said, in that range and higher, maybe the fall of this year, but people were not saying that before the halving.
And so, I didn't realize I measured from that last candle, not from the top where I should have measured. So that's on me. But yeah, this is another level in here between, like I said, between 44 and 47, 48 ish. And it does line up right with the 38%, puts it at 45.7. So,
there you go. Yep, I like that. Grounded in Hex. Yes, permanent move to Wednesdays at 6:30, man. You got it for the show. I think that's what we're looking at. And if we do see that, and if we see a continued move down like this, I think this is really bullish for what the cycle is going to be overall. We've talked so much about left translated, right translated, super cycle. What are we going to see here? And a lot more people were calling for a left translated cycle because of that super bullish performance by Bitcoin at the first half of this year. But the more that we see this typical sell off and come down, and the longer it takes to get out of here and top off again, the better it is for this being a normal cycle, which we are in favor of. So, yeah, to your point, I mean, maybe not looking good in the short term as far as price going down, but looking good as far as like what you want this to look like overall from a health of the cycle perspective, right?
Well, it's looking good for the dollar cost averagers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because usually once this pulls back, you know, you may not see prices like this again until the bottom of the very next cycle. So,
Right.
you know, on the way, you want to get it before it goes up, not after.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm enjoying this move. I don't know how much, you know, the rest of crypto is, but I mean, I think this is good for the market overall. So we'll continue to track that. But yeah, I think we'll probably see more of a sell off here over the next weeks and months. So,
Well, I was
um,
looking at it in the
but
terms of Ethereum too, and right now, it's looking like what you got about 19.2 Ethereum per Bitcoin.
mhm,
So that is coming down as well, and it's, you know, evening back out. That's kind of where we want to be. The strength of Ethereum coming back. Obviously, um, a lot of our value and things like that that are on Pulse Chain are very similarly tied to the base value of Ethereum because of the things that are bridged over there. So, you know, it is gaining some strength back. The dominance is pulling back as well. We're back to 53.8%, down from 57. So that's considerable as well. So just
right.
wanted to mention those things.
Old Chunk of Coal is feeling very bullish tonight on the stream. He's enjoying everything we're saying so far. So appreciate you. Yeah, but yeah, we want to see ETH obviously creep back up. I think as we see Bitcoin even out, things come down and things like that. Yeah, bad is sometimes good. That's the way it is. I think we're going to see ETH catch up and the altcoin market catch up because everybody's proclaiming ETH is dead and blah 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 and short-sighted idiots and you know whatever. So we'll see that bounce back, I think, in altcoins as well here eventually. So just got to wait for that.